What do you/we contribute to the system than just being consumers? Let that sink in your psyche for a moment. What do we contribute to the system? So if AI can replace most of the jobs and robots will replace most of the jobs, they learn on the job, they don't talk back, they don't give problems, they never go tired, and they're efficient. So if I can invest in a new venture that is more productive, what do I need you for? Talk to me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Talk to me. What's the purpose of a group that only consumes, but its labor and knowledge is abstract, it is unskilled and indisciplined? And if that is the case, what do I need you for?
I can replace 80% of the people who work for you in 2 weeks with AI. Maybe 100%.
AI is here.
The father of AI said here a few weeks ago that he says in 5 years, 40 and 60% of the job market as we know it today is gone. I say it's between 60 and 80%. It's gone.
Warfare is big business. Arms must be manufactured and maintained. Soldiers must be fed. Stock prices go up. And new technology is created, like drones. Most people only understand how one way war is implemented, and that's hard power, such as Iraqi war, Libya, Afghanistan, and now I see the war machine circling Venezuela. That's hard power. Most people are not aware of soft power, or what you call the tomato army. China is a chief example of soft power. If you look all over Africa, like Angola and Zambia, China has very powerful, strong foothold based on its financial loans, its infrastructure development, but also you could call it a subversive invasion. That is soft power. Soft power also comes through missionaries, NGOs, social intervention, and also after major disasters. So that's soft power, or what you call the tomato army, meaning that during the crisis they bring help and food and financial resources, and then what they do, they win the hearts and minds of the people.
Jamaica has also been the largest recipient of Chinese investments in the Caribbean. How has that experience worked out for you?
China's been very good to Jamaica, and China's been a very good infrastructure development partner.
Another aspect of soft power is what you call cultural imperialism, meaning that one culture propagates its culture into another country through the media and the music, and over time that dominant imperial power literally colonizes the other countries. This can be termed as a neo-colonialist move. It doesn't need guns or bullets. It just needs to win the hearts and minds after a disaster. And the unsuspecting masses, they swallow it, hook, line, and sinker, and they praise the helper in the process, not realizing that is PSYOPs 101, psychological warfare. Before I get into this video, my condolences and hearts and prayers go to my countryman in Jamaica. Yes, I'm praying for you guys. I know when I got you, I feel what you're going through.
We are survive. We are trying to survive in this.
I've ate what I've got early, but we're going down. We got no food.
New technology always replaces the old technology. Case in point, the guns replace the swords, and the cars replace the horse and buggies. In the founding of the New World, the Western world, hard power came in and moved out the native people. Hard power brought us, black people, out of Africa into the New World because hard power find that the native labor was not effective or efficient enough. Also, the native labor were vulnerable to diseases like smallpox that Europeans brought to the New World. So the native population die off pretty fast. African black labor replaced the native labor in the West because the African labor was more efficient.
There were no people on the earth except Africans up to about 55,000 years ago. There are no other people.
As an investor, you always want to return an investment. So for the traders who trade Africans, and for the plantation owners who owns the plantation in the West, while they make profit, they always invest in ventures that create new technology that will make their production more efficient. And if you study history, you will realize that when the steam engine was created and the cotton gin was created, they produced more cotton. And that create what you call a glut on the market, which drive down prices. And when it drive down prices, now what happens now? The plantation owner now can't make enough profit to clothe, feed, and maintain the slaves. So this is where you got slavery now shift over to colonialism, where technology replaced black labor. And also, what happens, you want more people to consume the goods you're manufacturing and producing. So what you do, you free them, but you don't give them land. So while they're free and enjoying carnival and crop over and enjoying their alcohol and fun and all of those things, they don't own the land. And because they don't own the land, no matter how much fun they have to eventually go and sell their labor to massa for pennies on the dollar.
Hey, I am like a stone. I am like a stone. Hey, I am like a stone that the builder rebuilt. I saw you can't rock me, Jesus.
Black labor replaced the native labor. And now the steam engine and the mechanization of farms also replace the black labor because you want them consumers, because if you own them, you must feed, clothe, and shelter them. So like I said before, new technology always replace old technology. I don't know what I say. Our jam gonna go with this. Just hold on tight. Me I go somewhere. Because I want you to understand how mode of production changes and where you are today. If you don't open up your eye and you keep yourself and come out of your entertained mindset, you will be replaced. As Bill Clinton says, is the economy stupid? Whenever the system changes, it changes when there's pressure. But the change that happens always benefit power. Because the last time I checked, power will never give up any level of its hegemony / power unless it can gain more power. So when, say, like Martin Luther King fought for civil rights and Lely and blah, blah, yes, it's good. But look at who benefits today. Women rights, LGBT rights, all of those feminism rights. Has black people condition really changed since we got quote unquote civil rights, freedom? But nonetheless, it looks good. And what happens, you know, black people, when we get something, we love to party. We party so much and we end up losing our mind and don't realize that the game has just changed. But the players are always the same. You see me? Yeah. Do I make sense here? Una big up Jam can or no? Una drop una comment if I make sense, because me I try teach in this classroom because most I don't know too busy having fun. And that's why while you're having fun, the lion is always getting ready to eat. But you guys don't see that because you've been binged up on entertainment and alcohol. When you had Emancipation Proclamation and also the abolition of slavery, and black people rebelled and fought for their rights, and the system freed them. But it gave us freedom without land. If you look all over the Caribbean and in the Western world, how much land do black people own? Wanna talk to me? Hit the like button. How much land do we own? And when you don't have land, you have no economic base. And your independent governments, they don't give land redistribution. If you look at it, the elites, the planter class, that same old stock that's coming from the colonial era still owns most of the land. So what is freedom if you have no land? You can't build nothing. In addition, if you look at the crisis in Jamaica, where Hurricane Melissa came in and wiped out the farming sector, St. Elizabeth, the food basket, it wiped it out. But also, do we have a food manufacturing plant in Jamaica that, say, black Jamaicans own? And by extension, do we have any farms, massive farms, or food manufacturing plant in the West? So if you can't feed yourself, where does that leave you? Oh, I forgot. When a catastrophe strikes, oh, a big and powerful nation comes in and say, hey, in the midst of this crisis, we'll give you food. I don't know, many Jamaicans, not just Jamaicans alone, black people love food, especially chicken. No disrespect. I'm helping you guys to think out of the box.
A lot of videos like this surfaced online Wednesday, but customers weren't the only ones balancing. KFC employees were balancing the job and their mental well-being. Here, the products contain a reminder, a work at the center of a group of people eager for chicken. It wasn't a one-off case, another here, outside another location. But security guards faced a different kind.
So as we got freedom with no land, we can build anything. Capitalism replaced colonialism. During colonialism and capitalism, the whole system of production, the mode of production, moved to mechanization, where the factories are mechanized and producing large amount of goods, and we are always the biggest consumer group. If you look anywhere in the Caribbean or over the West, tell me how many supermarkets and stores and any retail industry that we own nowadays. Talk to me. I'm trying to make a valid point here. What do we own? So what do we contribute to the system? Think about it. What do we contribute? Ownership is where the power lies. And if we don't own, we will be replaced. I want you to pause, put down your coffee, put down your porridge and your roti and listen to this. Jamaican people, we just got hit by a Category 5 hurricane. your food production has been wiped out. So now your government now has to spend billions now to import food. Freedom without land is slavery, but it's a different form of slavery. It's economic enslavement, and it's also mental enslavement. Because if you can't feed yourself, you're at the mercy of the business owner / capitalist. And when you're at the mercy of them, their motive is to make profit. And if you don't look like them, then they have no loyalty or affinity to you. You're just a widget, a consumer that I can make profit from. So therefore, you literally serves no purpose in the bigger system.
But 3 days on, I asked, where is the help? And where is the government?
He hasn't come. No minister, nobody hasn't reached there. No supplies, no helicopter help, nothing.
Welcome to the 4th Industrial Revolution, where, as Carl Schwab says, you will own nothing and be happy.
So that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau. I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our.
As the 4th Industrial Revolution is about to go full steam, and they're about to build smart cities with 15 minutes radius, where you will have all the comfort only if you're connected to the grid. And remember, I said before, power will never give up any level of its hegemony unless it can gain more power. So when the smart city is built, if you don't have a retinal scan or a fingerprint, or have a facial scan, and maybe say have CBDC, central bank digital currency, where you don't need cash, you will not be a part of that system. But remember this, because it is wired to the grid, someone owns that system. And in the midst of devastation, there are opportunities. So if you should look clearly, your nurses and doctors in the midst of this crisis cannot come from Cuba anymore, because some powerful forces don't bring any more Cuban doctors or nurses into Jamaica. So look where your nurses and doctors are coming from. Oh, I'm sorry. It's crisis, so we need all the help we can.
Right now, my brain mash up. I not even know what I say, but I say something. Because everything gone.
Now, as all of these help fly into the island without custom check and observation, it makes you wonder, are they only bringing in food, or is there something else? China uses soft power. I know China building ports and all of those and lend the government lots of money. And Uncle Sam sees it as a threat. So while Uncle Sam is circling Venezuela to use hard power, oh, I see the same uncle using soft power in Jamaica to drive out the Chinese influence. Is that a coincidence? Because in the midst of the hype and the hunger and the chaos, you have to look beyond the fog, because the fog of war blows in many ways. Do I get an amen?
Hallelujah, show glory. Hallelujah.
If we should look all over the Western world, and the powers in particular like Canada, America, Australia, France, and Germany, you realize that a new labor class is replacing almost all the other labor class. And they're highly educated and they're very good in IT. Do I get your attention? Oh, for the ones in the back of the class there, do I get your attention? The Indian population is growing very fast in the Western world. Remember, capital always have to invest in ventures and people that will always increase its bottom line. The Indian population are more educated, they're more organized, and they do good in business. So if you look at America, Indians now are the #1 income earner and also in Canada. And they're very adaptable to the new fourth industrial revolution.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker.
Working class people, poor people, and black people in the West. Ask yourself this question, and I'm having this conversation from the position of power. What do you/we contribute to the system than just being consumers? Let that sink in your psyche for a moment. What do we contribute to the system? So if AI can replace most of the jobs and robots will replace most of the jobs, they learn on the job, they don't talk back, they don't give problems, they never go tired, and they're efficient. So if I can invest in a new venture that is more productive, what do I need you for? Talk to me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Talk to me. What's the purpose of a group that only consumes, but its labor and knowledge is abstract, it is unskilled and indisciplined? And if that is the case, what do I need you for? We are being systematically being replaced. Look at the birth rate. It's falling all over the world because we're too busy being entertained. We're too busy experimenting with our sexual liberty. The foundation, the family is completely broken, especially in Jamaica. Dysfunctional family. We're based on promiscuity nowadays. You don't know who the father is. So if the foundation, the family is broken, and if you look at the Indian population, they have a structured family. Their birth rate is 1.9 per couple. Jamaica's birth rate, I believe, is about 1.1 or 1.3. Canada is 1.3. And to maintain any society, the birth rate needs to be 1.9. So if they're getting married around 24, 25 and having strong family structure, they will always dominate the disorganized and dysfunctional group. Who would you invest in? As an investor, who would you invest in? This is why all over Canada, the Western world, they're buying franchises, they're educating themselves, and they're building an economically rising above every other group while we're busy partying, entertaining, who's humping who is doing who, and all the madness, instead of educating ourselves. So when disaster hit, we're crying out, help, 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 instead of organizing with each other. You remember when we had this earthquake in Japan? Look how the Japanese behaved. They pulled each other up. How are we behaving? Jamaican people, while you're in this crisis, the media is going to frame the narrative. Our back is literally broken now. Our bravado, machoism, and our brand is being affected big time. In essence, we've been emasculated at this moment. We're known for sports, entertainment, and music. What else do we contribute to the world? The last time I checked, AI can mimic any voice, and AI can make music. So if AI can do all of that, and then our skill is uneducated and indisciplined, then if one are no gangster, or robber, or chopper, or scammer, losing a mind and maybe delete one of Uncle Sam people in the midst of this crisis, or if a false flag happened to frame one of you as biting the hand that feeds you, una go sorry. Una go sorry. The media is there to frame the narrative. The media is a mouthpiece of the powerful force. And you don't want to lose your mind to be framed.
Got ran into the Charge affair at the U.S. Embassy, and, you know, President Trump and Secretary Rubio and the American people have promised support to the people of Jamaica, and behind me is one of the examples of that.
Brand Jamaica is the second most powerful brand in the West. Second to America. Now we're broken. That bravado and global appeal is now replaced by beggar thy neighbor and crying out for help and me hungry. So in the midst of your chaos, you've been framed as powerless. You get the gist? You don't hit the subscribe button yet. You don't say, I work, yeah, so me ain't like no, because you seem like you don't see what I'm going.
I can just see how the place look better. Eh? I don't even want to get in a conversation right now, dog. Just look on the place.
The new mode of production, the new labor force will be AI and robots. And let me say it again. Sooner or later, there won't be any need for the majority of us. So smart cities that are being built, they're built where robots and AI will dominate. So what need will there be for us? AI and robots are being implemented through soft power. And you know, in Jamaica's case, all you have to do is get an entertainer to start to push it. And in no time, it gathers momentum. And in no time, it spreads around the world. And then that's how you inoculate the young to become comfortable with this. As Joseph Goebbels says, if you tell a big lie and repeat it over and over again, the masses will believe the lie as self-evident truth. Wait, you guys like my Federo? I had it for about 30-something years. Okay. So when a lion is about to eat, it never eats the strongest or the fastest. It always targets the young and the unaware. That's how the lion eats. And socioeconomically speaking, who are the weakest group financially, socially, and politically? What need is there for us while the mode of production changes?
Every Anywhere a black person takes over an administration, a governance, a company, anything, you can look at all the BE companies where that were majority black run, right? Look at Itala Bank, look at VBS, look at the entire government, look at all municipalities, look at all provincial governments. You destroy. You destroy, you plunder, you steal, and you even romanticize the stealing. I'll never ever. Akekho umuntu ozongi-intimidate mina la emhlabeni ngeqiniso. Go to America and look at every municipality that is run by a black person. It's trash. It has been trashed. Look at when the black people first took it over. What did it look like? Forget the race relations. Forget whether there was a right winger, a Hitler. Forget. Look at the condition of that infrastructure. Look at the joblessness or the employment status.
I hope this video has shed some light on the mode of production replacement ideology. For all of my working class youths and people, go study to become an electrician, go study to become a plumber, study to become an HVAC technician, carpenters, study skilled trades. Those are the only areas that AI will not impact, because the massive data centers that they are building, and for the new fourth industrial AI world, those are the only jobs they cannot replace. On that note, Jamaican is out. And it's the replacement theory or facts I talking about. Jamaican people, on a big, on a powerful, rise up out of this. And as Rastaman say, forward ever, backward never. As certain thing said, big up and make we rise out of this by working together instead of working apart. Peace out. Me out of this. See you.